Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Are you recording the meeting also? That would be nice. Namaste Haladrugrama, Namaste Musala Yudha, Namaste Revati Kanta, Namaste Bhakta Vatsala, Namaste Balinam Shrestha, Namaste Dharani Dhara, Pralambare Namaste Stu, Trahimam Keshava Urvaja. Obeisances to Balaram, the holder of the plough, the wielder of the mace. O beloved of Revati, you are very kind to your devotees. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Balaram, the best of the strong and the support of the earth, Dharani Dhara. Obeisances unto you, the enemy of Pralamba. Please deliver me, O elder brother of Krishna. Jai Balaram Bhagavan ki Jai Ho. So we are very fortunate to have this month of Shravana, which is full of festivities, lots of unlimited showers of mercy, beginning with Julan Yatra, then culminating Julan Yatra with Balaram Appearance Day. Maybe you can put mute, please. And then Sri Krishna Janmashtami, then Radhashtami. Of course, in Indian context, Ganesh Jayanti will come in between, Gauri Pujan will come in between, Ananta Chaturdashi, the departure day of Haridas Thakur. And like that, the month of Shravan is a big festivity in India. There are many, many more festivals like Naga Panchami, which already was over at the beginning of Shravan month. And in Vrindavan Dham, this month is supposed to be full of festivities, which begins with the Julan Yatra festival. And Julan Yatra festival begins on the third day of Shravana, and it's called Hariyali Tej. On the day of Hariyali Tej, Radharani starts swinging at Barsana, Nandagaon. Krishna Balaram starts swinging, Banke Bihari starts swinging, and they swing all the day, every single day in the afternoon till late evening. And then our Gaudiya Sampradaya temples begin Julan Yatra from Ekadashi. So today is third day, tomorrow is fourth day, and Monday is the fifth day. So Monday we have end of Julan Yatra, at the same time celebration of appearance of Sri Balaram. Jai Balaram Bhagavan ki Jai Ho. So we will discuss about the principle of Lord Balaram, Balarama Tattva. Balaram is the first incarnation, avatar or expansion of Sri Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands only for the purpose of Leela in the form of Balaramji. And Balaramji is not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Balaram, Sri Krishna is equal to Sri Krishna as per Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 1st chapter, 24th verse. And 10th canto, 46th verse, 31st chapter, shloka says, 46th chapter and 31st verse, Krishna is the seed of the existence. Aham bija pradapita. And Balaram is the womb of the universe. That means we need a good seed and we need a good womb, good fertile ground to have a beautiful tree, blossoming tree of devotion. So once the creation takes place, then Balaram and Krishna enter in the hearts of the devotees. I mean the Baddha Jivas, the conditioned souls, also the liberated souls, and they govern and control either the conditioned consciousness or the delivered, liberated consciousness, and the realization of the devotees of the Lord. Very interestingly, we have Satchidananda, understanding of the soul and the Lord. The Jiva is minute Satchidananda and the Lord is complete Satchidananda. And in Satchidananda, there's something called as Sandhini potency, Ladini potency, and Samvit potency. So Sandhini potency is Sandhi, that means joining. So Balaram is Sandhini potency of the Lord. Is the embodiment of Sandhini potency, and he joins the Jiva with the Paramatma, the manifestation of the Lord in the heart of every living entity. So his role is extremely important. He carries a plow also. So very significantly, the plow is supposed to cultivate the land from hard to soft to make it eligible to grow the seed into a beautiful blossoming tree. One needs to have also very fertile ground. And our hard heart is like rocky situation. And Balramji holds the plow only for that reason. He plows the heart to make it soft and make it perfectly favorable for the beautiful, perfect seed of devotion to grow very nicely. So in the process of Sandhini, that is joining the Jiva with Paramatma, what does Balaram do? Balaram removes all the anarthas. The anartha, nivrutti, takes place by the mercy of Balaram. And artha pravrutti, one of the meaning of artha is money, another meaning of artha is good qualities, opposite of anartha. So while he is doing anartha nivrutti, he is also doing artha pravrutti cultivation. So he is the one who, while plowing the field of the heart and make it soft and favorable, is also helping the devotee to develop wonderful, favorable qualities that are helping us to advance in Krishna consciousness in the path of bhakti. And Balramji is, sometimes when I read about Balramji, it looks like Balramji is everything. What is left for Krishna? It looks like that. But it is Sri Krishna only who does all the things through Balaramji. Balaramji is such a personality, has got multifaceted roles to play. Initially, originally, he is the first Leela avatar, meant only for Leela, only for divine pastimes, to facilitate them, to create atmosphere for them, to create ground for them. Everything is Balaramji. But then he also contributes in the process of creation through Chaturvyuha. He expands into Chaturvyuha. That means he expands into Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, and Vasudev, the four transcendental personalities. And through them, he controls the creation. First, he creates the spiritual world, which means all the Vaikuntha planets. And then he maintains the Vaikuntha planets through another expansion. And then Narayan he expands into. And Narayan is supposed to be in charge of all the Vaikuntha planets. That means the variety of Vishnu forms that have control over each Vaikuntha. All are controlled by Narayan, which is the expansion of Mahasankarshan. And this same Mahasankarshan expands to Narayan, and then that expands into Mahavishnu. And this Mahavishnu is supposed to be in charge of the whole material creation. So there is spiritual creation, there is material creation. And Mahavishnu also is indirect expansion of Balaramji, expansion of expansion of expansion. And thus the one personality of Mahavishnu creates unlimited Brahmandas and universes and enters into each universe as Garbhodaka Shahi Vishnu. That means he creates unlimited Garbhodaka Shahi Vishnus. Garbhodaka Shahi Vishnu creates unlimited Kshirodak Shahi Vishnus. And thus unlimited amount of number of Paramatmas are expanded into, and they enter into the Jiva after Brahma does the secondary creation in the form of living entities, and the bodies are engineered, and in that formed body Sri Krishna and Balaram enter. Balaram enters very inconspicuous way. Paramatma enters as expansion of Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, and the whole journey starts. So we can see that Balaram is also creative potency. Balaram also is Lila Shakti, the Shakti of the Lord to perform pastimes. And Balaram also is Dharana Shakti. I was reading from Garga Samhita's, very, very interesting, detailed, technical description is there, that this same Sankarshan also expands into Ananta Sheshanaga, the divine Naga or serpent, which has got 1,000 hoods. And he also expands into many other Sheshanagas, which go into different parts of material universe and spiritual universes. And you can see that through Ananta Shesha, the Lord Ananta Shesha, who is expansion of Sankarshan, is exhibiting his Dharana Shakti. Dharana Shakti means to hold, because all the universes that are existing in the material world are held by Ananta Shesha on his 1,000 hoods. And in the middle hood, the central hood, is holding the Braja Mandala also the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan, and also the material world, Brajamandala, Vrindavan Dham. Both are held on the central hood of Anantashesha. And it's explained in other scriptures that all these universes, which are gigantic in size, they are appearing like mustard seeds on the heads of, on the hoods of Sri Anantashesha. So Anantashesha is technically also speaking the first son, the oldest son of Kadru Devi, who is the wife of Kashyapa Muni. And Kashyapa Muni is supposed to be Prajapati. Prajapati is empowered living entity on behalf of Brahma, who does creation, who creates many species. So through Kadru, Kashyapa Muni created serpent species. So first one was the great personality Anantashesha. Then after that, Kaliya, Vasuki, Takshaka, and the great Nagas were created. Some has 10 hoods, some has 500 hoods, some had 700 hoods, some had so many hoods. And they were extremely powerful snakes, and all the snakes species was created by Kadru. And the Leela or the Madhurya part of the personality is called Balaram, and the Aishwarya or the technical part of the personality is called Anantashesha. Both are same personalities, but when they do creative work, holding work, he is called as Anantashesha. When he does only pure divine pastimes with Krishna, he is known as Balaram. So Balaram is not different from Anantashesha, at the same time technically different. Like Devaki Nandan and Yashodanandan are one and the same personalities, but when they exhibit Aishwarya, they are called, he is called as Devaki Nandana. The Aishwarya aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Devaki Nandana. And when he performs only purely pastimes, divine pastimes, beyond the cognition of being the Lord, he is called as Yashodanandana. Because as Yashodanandana, Sri Krishna steals the knowledge of all Brajvasis, that he is Supreme Lord. So everybody in Vrindavan Dham, nobody knows that he is Supreme Lord. But in Mathura or out of Braj, wherever he goes, the same personality, everyone knows that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although they are friendly to him like Pandavas, still they know he is Supreme Lord. Although Kunti is very motherly to Krishna, but still he knows Devaki is mother of Krishna, still she knows he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva also knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why he is Devaki Nandana, the Aishwarya Lord out of Braj. And Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Radha, Gopis, coward boys, no one knows that he is Supreme Lord. So this is the beauty of these personalities. They choose to perform their most inner, intimate pastimes by stealing knowledge from their realized devotees, dedicated devotees. And what knowledge? That he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. That knowledge they are stolen. That is called as Jagat Mohini Maya. In 10th canto, in one verse, this particular Maya is explained in detail. Very interestingly, when Balaram and Krishna are bowing down to their mother and Devaki, because Kamsa is killed now and mother Devaki and Vasudeva are released. And that time, Krishna Balarama bowing down to mother Devaki. And they say, oh, mother Devaki and father Vasudeva, we couldn't serve you all this while. So many years we were away from you due to various reasons of political conditions. Now we want to follow you. Please order us what we should do. And they fell at the feet of Devaki and Vasudeva, and they were shedding rivers of tears from their eyes out of affection. And at that time, Vasudeva and Devaki were in a form of awe and reverence. So they knew that our children are Supreme Personalities of Godhead. So they just couldn't bow down and bring them to their chest and embrace as children. But Krishna, in the bowing down condition, was not happy that my mother and father are filled with awe and reverence. So for time being, Krishna spread his Jagan Mohini Maya and stole their knowledge about themselves as Supreme Lords. And momentarily, they forgot that Krishna Balaram are Supreme Lords, and they immediately bowed down and lifted them up from the position of bowing down and embraced them and cried tears of love. So Krishna is very hungry, Balaram is very hungry to experience pure love, which is beyond awe and reverence. So many times this happens repeatedly. Even after they left Mathura, after they left Vrindavan, they went out of Braj. They kept doing these things whenever they wanted to relish the experiences. They stole and they gave back. But in Vrindavan, he could never give them knowledge that he was Supreme Lord. He exhibited many times, but he failed in maintaining that Aishwarya. Like he lifted Govardhan, or he opened the mouth to Mother Yashoda, showed all the Brahmandas, or he showed Vishnu form to all the gopis after Chandra Sarovar Ras Leela. So many things. But Vrindavan Dham, the devotees are so intense in their devotion and love and so pure that by the influence of their madhurya, by the influence of their divine love, Sri Krishna could not maintain his opulence for more than short time. So this is the beauty. So I was explaining about the two personalities who are same but technically different. That is Ananta Shesha and Balramji. So now uh, we'll technically understand that the Sthayi Bhava, that is the basic nature or attitude of Balram. The most basic, the most foundational attitude is Seva Bhav. We say that Supreme Personality of Godhead divides into Krishna and Balram, and they have all 64 qualities and 6 Aishwaryas, 6 opulences in full. There is no difference at all between Krishna and Balaram. But still, there are two differences. One is Krishna is like fully, filled cloud about to rain, and Balram is like spring cloud, like crystals, shining white, Tejasvi. And Krishna is like water-filled cloud, Jalada, Nirada. And another difference is Krishna remains the Supreme Personality of Godhead in that bhava. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. And Balramji is servitude Godhead, although he is Godhead himself, but he constantly maintains the mood of being servant of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is addressed aptly as servitor Godhead. So the foundational mood of Balramji is Seva. Above that, the mood is Sakhya, that is a friend. So he's basically a friend of Krishna. He serves him as a friend of Krishna, but at the same time, his Sakhya Bhav, his friendly rasa or mellow, is also tinged with Vatsalya. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 5, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that his actual technical mood is defined as Vatsalya Gandhita Sakhya. That means there is a beautiful fragrance of Vatsalya, that is maternal paternal affection that he has, along with his basic Sakhya, which is based upon service attitude. So this is a most foundational understanding of Balramji. Third understanding about Balramji is he is Guru Tattva. Because he is Sandhini Shakti, he helps us to unite us, the Jivas, to the Paramatma, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his plowing, as I explained. So he also is Guru Tattva. And it is explained in scriptures at umpty number of times, in umpty number of places, that without the mercy of Balaram, one cannot hope to realize Krishna. One cannot hope to take shelter of Krishna. One cannot hope to get mercy of Krishna. One cannot hope to understand the divine relationship of Radha and Krishna and the Brijvasis. All these esoteric and wonderful aspects of Sri Krishna are not to be understood unless Balaram is favorable. So this thing is very important. We cannot only love Krishna. We have to love Radha and Krishna and Balaram and Krishna. And we have to respect also Balaram and Krishna together and equally. Because Krishna does not like if someone loves him and does not respect Balaramji. The example is Dvivida Vanara. I will tell the story in detail a little later. But to mention that point here, Dvivida Vanara was the minister of Sugriva. And he was very devoted to Lord Ram. And he fought valiantly against Ravana in the battle of Ram and Ravana. But he did not have faith and respect for Lakshman, sorry. And that is why, because of that attitude of his, because of that particular imperfect attitude of Dvivida Vanara, although he was a Maharathi, he performed great service to Lord Ram, still his service was not acknowledged by Lord Ram in that particular favorable manner. And because of that, he lived, of course, across Treta Yuga to Dwapar Yuga also, over the two yugas. but he got association by his bad karma of not respecting Lakshmana. He associated with Narakasur, that is Bhaumasur. And because of that, he himself became Asuric. He became demoniac. And then he landed up fighting with Balaram. I'll tell the story a little later to you. So it is very important to understand that we cannot just worship Krishna. That's why in Gaudiya Sampradaya, we have Krishna Balaram, we have Radha Krishna, we have Krishna, Radharani, Ashtasakis, we have Sita Ram, we have Lakshmi Narayan. All these personalities are always with their consort, because we believe that the Lord can be approached only through his energy, through his Shakti, Antaranga Shakti, Yogamaya Shakti. Sometimes it manifests in the form of Radharani, Sita Devi, Lakshmi Devi, and like that, so on and so forth. So Balaram is a very unique personality. He serves the Lord in 5 rasas. Not a single personality in the whole creation serves the Lord in all the 5 rasas. You and me also, when we will develop, freedom from anarthas, and we develop rasa, mellow, that will spring out spontaneously, we will also be dwelling in one rasa only. We will not be having 2 rasas anytime. Our Sthai Bhav, Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, will be always in one rasa. But Balaram is the only one personality in the whole spiritual and material creations who has service to the Lord in all the 5 rasas. As Shantarasa, he serves the Lord by becoming all the Vaikunthas, by becoming the Gaulok Vrindavan Bhumi, the land itself, by becoming Sri Vrindavan Dham on earth when it appears, the part of Goloka appears on earth as Bhauma Vrindavan. So he becomes the land. And I learned of late in last week that the land is not stagnant. The land is a very dynamic situation. The land moves whenever Krishna wants to favor his pastime. For example, Radharani wants to go to Mathura to sell the butter from Barsana, which is about 50 kilometers today, about 55 kilometers. And she has to come back in the evening also after selling everything. So how today, if you start walking from Barsana, it will take you maybe 2 days to reach Mathura, walking. And when you will sell your butter and when you will come back, so it will be 2-3 days affair. But we read in scriptures that every day the gopis would go from Barsana to Mathura, sell their butter and come back, and also have pastimes in Vrindavan, So how does that happen? Because Balaramji, as a land of Vrindavan Dham, contracts and expands, contracts and expands, contracts and expands to favor the Leela of the Lord. When Krishna is in, suppose, southern petal of Vrindavan, and Radharani is in Barsana, and they want to meet, and it's going to be very intense separation, they want to meet immediately. So Balaram will just come closer, contract as a land of Vrindavan, and make them meet very fast. So sometimes even Rupa Goswami experienced this wonderful nature of Vrindavan Dham. It's another story which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anyways, so he becomes the crown, bedstead, the throne, the ornaments, and the murli and the pitambar, everything he becomes for Krishna. He expands and contracts as per Radharani and Krishna's desire. This is specifically explained in Krishna Sahita, written by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that how Sri Vrindavan Dham is very dynamic in existence. Then in servitude, Krishna is always served by Balaram. When he's tired, he's massaging Krishna's feet, he's putting his head on his lap and fanning him and making him comfortable. Sometimes when he's tired, after herding cows, he says, my dear older brother, I'm very tired, my legs are paining. Then Krishna will be lifted by Balaram on the shoulder and carried by Balaramji to his home most of the times. So as a menial servant, he serves him in Dasya Ras. Then he serves him in Sakya Ras as a friend. Friendliness is too much. He's fighting, wrestling, herding cows together, and then winning and losing and carrying each other, and then doing all kinds of funny pranks, like acting like a frog, jumping in the water, having splashing water, stealing each other's tiffin boxes and throwing them in air, making fun and making sounds by by mouth, by armpits, and so many things. That is what equals do. And also very interesting to know, Balaram is not himself only directly enjoying Sakyaras, but he also expands into coward boys like Ratrak, Raktak, Chitrak, Patrak, and like so many coward boys. So he's experiencing Sakyaras not himself directly, but also through all these coward boys indirectly also. Very interestingly, he is also having the paternal mood, Vatsalya Bhav, because he's older brother to Krishna. He also has protective mood towards Krishna. It is explained in scriptures that Balaram was not there, then Radharani, then Yashodamai would not send Krishna for herding cows. She had so much faith in the protective attitude of Balaram that only when Balaram would go, she would dare to send Krishna, because Krishna was very naughty. He would eat dirt, he would jump from the trees, and he would fall in the water and will do all mischief. And she was always scared because Krishna's restless nature. But because Balaram was there, she would send him for herding cows every day. Because when they were small, they were herding cows closer because they were baby cows. But after getting charge of big cows, it was supposed to be going far distances. So she was beyond her eyesight, So she would always send him because Balramji was there. Now, very interesting, it is explained in scriptures that even Nanda Maharaj and Yashodamai and Prabhavati and Upananda and Abhinandan, all the elderly coward boys who had that paternal mood, they were also expansions of Balaram. So Balaram himself also enjoyed Vatsalya Bhav, and he also enjoyed Vatsalya Bhav through Nanda Baba, Yashoda and elderly coward boys and coward men and women indirectly also. So each and every rasa when he enjoyed, he enjoyed directly and indirectly, both ways. And the last one is Madhurya or Shringar Ras. How would he enjoy in the male body? But he was so eager to partake, to serve Radha and Krishna in their conjugal pastimes. So he assumed a form of a female gopi, that is Ananga Manjari. And he took birth in the family of Radharani. Radharani's father is Vrishabhanu Maharaj, mother is Kirti Mai, and um, first child is Sridama, the older son, middle is Radharani, and the third is daughter named Ananga Manjari. And Ananga Manjari had that Madhurya Bhav for Krishna, and she served the principal friend of Radharani, Lalita, as her chief assistant Manjari. So Lalita Devi was the chief gopi, friend of Radharani, and Ashtasakis. Each one of them had three principal Manjaris who served each Sakhi, and each principal Manjari had 1 crore of gopis. I would say 10 million, 10 million gopi assistants with one Manjari. So Ananga Manjari also had 10 million gopi assistant, and the other two were Rupa Manjari and Labanga Manjari, who actually became Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. And Ananga Manjari became Janva Devi later on. Huh? So Balramji experienced and enjoyed and served as Ananga Manjari indirectly, but directly he couldn't enjoy. So to understand the conjugal mood as Ananga Manjari, he took bhav of Ananga Manjari and came as Nityananda Prabhu. Like Lord Krishna, although he knew everything, but he couldn't understand Radharani's heart. So he took Radharani's bhava and appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Balramji took the bhav of Ananga Manjari and came as Nityananda Prabhu. And that time actually directly he experienced the conjugal rasa of Krishna's love and devotion. So this is Balramji's personality, very, very unique. Serves in all 5 rasas. He's a Guru Tattva, he's Dharana Shakti, he's the Lila avatar of Krishna, his Aishwarya avatar is holding all the universes and Vaikunthas, controlling the creation and maintenance of Vaikunthas. Very, very diverse and variegated personality. So today we will discuss the aspect of his Leelas out of Braja. Like we all know that he's the older brother of Krishna. In the form of Lakshman, he had to undergo a lot of unpleasant experiences. Where first time Sita Devi told something to him which was very painful to him. Then Lord Ram told him to create the pyre of wood to do Agni Pariksha of Sita. He was not happy. And then the third time he was asked to take Sita to Valmiki Muni's ashram. He didn't like it. So he decided, I'll come as a older brother next time. So he came as older brother as Balaram. But very interestingly, even though he came as older brother or he came as younger brother, his servitude never changed. his activity to please Krishna never changed. He appeared as giving instructions and controlling as older brother, but he always remained finally as subordinate to Krishna to serve him and to please him. For example, he actually loved Duryodhan, because Duryodhan in the previous life was Kali, and that time Sheshanag spoke to him because he was a devotee of Sheshanag. Very interestingly, so he said, I'm going to appear in Dwapar Yuga in the 28th Divya Yuga of Vaivasvata Manu. So Kali said, what will I do? I'm your devotee. So he said, you come down as Duryodhan and you will be the Yuvraj of Kuru Vamsha, and I will train you with Gada. Club, archery of the club science I will teach you. So he is Duryodhan, and then Anantashesha became Balramji and he taught him Gada. And now Bhimsen also is expert in Gada, and Duryodhan also. But Bhimsen is more of a power and Duryodhan was more of a skill. And he learnt it from Balramji. So he became very dear disciple of Balramji. So as they went to Mathura, they had another younger sister called Subhadra, who was born later on after they released father and mother from Kamsa's prison house. So as Subhadra grew up, she became marriageable, and Balramji thought, who else but Duryodhan can be the best bridegroom from my sister? And he was planning and actually almost about to execute. So Krishna came to know that my older brother has this thing in mind. So he alarmed Arjun, and he said that I want you to marry my sister. You go as sannyasi to Dwarka, and then later on I'll explain to you what further will happen. So Arjun became sannyasi, very effulgent sannyasi. He was invited to many houses. Balaram also came to know in somebody has come in Dwarka, very effulgent sannyasi has come. So he also invited Arjun, who was sannyasi that time. And because neither Balaram was married, not Krishna was married, not Subhadra was married, so they were all singles. So he told Subhadra, please take care of him. And she served him the lunch nicely. And then Balaram thought, why only one meal? This is Chaturmasya. You stay here only. All the time you stay here only, and you eat your food here, you do your sadhana, Chaturmasya puja, everything here only. And every time when Subhadra would come to serve him, his eyes would glitter. And somehow Subhadra also knew his sannyasi, I'm not supposed to do like that, but her eyes would glitter. His eyes and her eyes would meet regularly while being served, and their attraction went on increasing day by day. Finally, when Balaram was about to execute his plan to go further and negotiate and propose to Duryodhan's family about his sister, Krishna then sent a message to Arjun that on a particular day, Subhadra would go from her house on a chariot to a temple of a Devi, of a demigoddess, Bhavani, to offer worship to her. That time, you should go near the temple, and when she will get down the chariot, go inside temple, worship the Devi, and come back to ride the chariot again. That time, you should just run her, take her away, kidnap her and run away. So Arjuna went behind, and Subhadra Devi was not expecting this to happen, but Subhadra Devi kind of having some emotional turbulence about him. And suddenly when she came down from the temple of the Devi, she saw Arjuna sitting on her chariot. He pulled her and he ran away with her. But some secret mantra Krishna had given Subhadra, that I will tell you later on. And immediately the news spread that sannyasi was Arjuna, and he ran away with sister Subhadra. And Balaram was enraged. He was so angry. His eyes were red like coal. And he picked up his club, put his armor, set up his chariot, and he immediately started going to, he said, I will kill Arjuna. He has cheated me. He came as sannyasi, number one. And number two, he ran away with my sister. Krishna came to know that Balaram is about to leave in anger to destroy Arjuna. So he said, wait a minute. I have one request to you. I don't mind whatever you do, you will do perfectly. But before you go, please make your eyes small. Contract your eyes and see at distance the running chariot. Look at the chariot. who is driving the chariot? Please see, my dear older brother. And Balramji saw that Subhadra was driving the chariot. That was the mantra which Krishna had given in her ears. That when Arjuna will kidnap you, that time you don't sit as a charioteer. You become the, what do you call, Sarathi, the driver of the chariot. You hold the reins of the horses in your hand and you drive the chariot, and Arjuna will sit in the chariot. So Balramji was surprised. How is that people are saying he kidnapped her, but I see Subhadra Devi is driving the chariot. She has the reins in her hand, and Arjuna is sitting quietly in the nicely in the chariot. So Krishna said, "My dear brother, she also loved him. She was attached to him. She liked him very much. She was not kidnapped by him. She went with him willfully and happily." So by this particular discussion, Balramji was pacified. And so, okay, no need to run away, get them back. So they all brought them back. And then Arjuna, put his head down, but Balaram is very happy because when he learned that his sister also loved him, so all his anger went away. Then it is said that Balramji, gave them lakhs of horses and thousands of elephants and hundreds of chariots and millions of ornaments and clothes and all opulent things. And he did a very gorgeous wedding in Dwarka, and he sent them very pompously back to Hastinapur. So the point, why I told, because he wanted to become older brother and actually do what he wanted to do. But finally he is doing what Krishna is wanting to do. Finally he is doing what Krishna wants to do. That's why I told this story, that his mood doesn't change. Then that the story of Rukmi and Rukmini, that Rukmini was kidnapped by Krishna. And Balramji came to know Krishna went suddenly in the evening without informing anybody, alone with the Brahmin. And he reached Kaundinyapur, that is Vidarbha, the house of the village, the country of Rukmini, King Bhishmaka, and her brother Rukmi, the older son of Bhishmaka, the older brother of Rukmini. And then, it's a long story, but to come to Balaram's point, Krishna kidnapped and started going peacefully to Dwarka. And all the princes who had come were attracted by beauty. They had also gathered at the temple of Devi to see her finally before she becomes Shishupal's property. Let us at least have a look at her closely. So everybody was gathered. Suddenly they saw Krishna running away. So they all attacked Krishna. Krishna defeated them. And then Rukmi, the older brother of Rukmini, was very angry. How dare my enemy, how dare my friend's enemy can kidnap my sister? I will teach him a lesson. And he told Shishupal, you don't worry. Your job is to decorate yourself and become a bridegroom. Don't stop your process. I will bring the head of Krishna. Otherwise, I'll not enter Vidarbha again. He took a vow as Satriya and he left. And he attacked. He said, Savdhan Krishna. And Krishna turned, U-turn. And there was a battle. And it was a fierce battle. And Krishna, actually, I can't say it's fierce battle, but it was fierce from the point of view of Rukmi. And Krishna very effortlessly defeated him. And in such a way blocked him. He shot such a way arrows that Rukmi was blocked on the ground. His hands and legs and everything couldn't move at all. He was completely blocked. And then Krishna got down the chariot, took out his sword, and he was about to kill. You can imagine Rukmini's situation. Rukmini loved her brother. Although he wanted her to marry someone else, which he did not love, and she chose to run away with Krishna, but she still loved. And when she saw her beloved Krishna, first time she is seeing him, and first time he is kidnapping him, and first time she is with him on the chariot, her dream is getting fulfilled. So she's so happy, but at the same time she's so unhappy also, because she's seeing that her brother is getting killed by her newly, going to be wedded husband. So this is how the material life is, in the material world. That happiness is there and sorrow also is there. It's never pure happiness. So she is having a mixed happiness. Oh, I got my husband, which I wanted to, and I'm losing my brother. So she fell at the feet of Krishna. Oh, my dear Krishna, my dear husband, please do not kill my brother. I beg of you. At the same time, Balramji reached there, because Balramji came to me in the morning that in the evening yesterday Krishna went without any army. Suddenly he left. So there will be some problem. There will be some war. Something will happen. So he also left from Dwarka in the morning. And by the time all this happened, it was evening time, and the fight was going on, almost ending the fight. That time Balramji reached there, and he saw that his brother's newly kidnapped, newly about to be wedded woman is falling at the feet. So to impress the new sister-in-law, new bhabi, he said, Krishna, don't you understand the feelings of your newly about to be wedded wife? She's Rukmini, she's a delicate girl. She loves her brother. Don't you understand that you should not embarrass her and give her pain like this? Stop killing this man. Don't kill him. But Krishna said that, okay, I'll not kill him, but I'll still kill him by not killing him. And what he did, he cut his mustache half, he cut his beard into half, and he cut his bunches of hair, and he made a very funny looking person. And he felt worse than death, because for Kshatriyas, insult is worse than death. So he would have loved to be killed by the sword, and he could have attained heaven. It was a glory to die in the battlefield. But Krishna didn't kill him, and Krishna disfigured him. And Balaram didn't like it. And Balaram still said, this is not good. He is your close relative. He is your brother-in-law. You cannot insult him like that. But still, Krishna wanted to teach a lesson to Rukmi. And Rukmi, from there, did not go back to his father's kingdom again, because he had taken a vow, I'll not return. He could not kill Krishna. So he went somewhere in between in Bhojakata, a place called Bhojakata, where he established his own kingdom. Okay, that matter is over. Balaramji impressed the new bhabi, new sister-in-law, and they all went back. A nice pompous wedding they had. And then in the course of time, Bhojakata was a new kingdom where Rukmi was ruling. And you know what happened? That Rukmi gave his daughter Rukmavati to Rukmini's son Pradyumna. So Pradyumna married Rukmavati and gave birth to Aniruddha. And then Rukmi's granddaughter Rochana was about to get married with Aniruddha, the son of Pradyumna. That means Krishna's grandson was getting married with Rukmi's granddaughter. Krishna Rukmini's grandson Aniruddha is getting married with Rochana, Rukmi's granddaughter. And there was a great ceremony. So they, although they were enemies, Rukmi was inimical to Krishna, although he loved Rukmini very much. So he gave his daughter also to that family. Now granddaughter also he was giving. So he called everybody. Yadu family came for the wedding ceremony. Very nicely and pompously all the wedding ceremony took place. And then the king of Kalinga. Kalinga means today is Odisha. Kalinga Desh is Odisha, Jagannath Puri. That king was there as a friend of Rukmi. And Kashiraj, also as a friend of Rukmi, was there in the ceremony. So these two people also were inimical towards Balaram and Krishna. So they wanted to make some fun of them. So Kalinga king of Kalinga proposed to Rukmi, let us play dice. And Balaram is very weak in the game of dice. He's not so expert, but he's at the same time attached to playing dice. Let us call him for the dice game and we will loot him and we will make fun of him. So they sat. And then first 100 gold coins were the wager, and Balaram lost. And they made big sound, ha 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 ha, look, we are victorious. Then Balaramji waged 1000 gold coins. And again Balaram lost. Again they made big sound and laughter, and they, especially these two kings of Kashi and Kalinga, they were showing their teeth and laughing very ridiculously, kind of ridiculing Balaramji. Balaramji was tolerant. Then he put 10,000 gold coins. And that time Balaram won. But still, by the majority sound, they declared, we won, we won, we won. Balaram said, no, I won. But they just made loud sound because people are not watching closely. So they thought Balaramji lost. This time, he waged 100,000 gold coins. Now again Balaramji won. And again they shouted, laughed that we won, we won. Balaramji lost. At that time, the celestial voice, Akashvani, spoke. No, Balaramji has won. Why you tell lies? But still they maintained their lie. And next time, 100 million gold coins were waged by Balaram. And again Balaramji won. And again they ridiculed him by laughing loudly and making sounds. At this point of time, his eyes became red like coal. He became so angry as if he was going to burn the whole creation. And I'm explaining to you, it is taking some time to explain to you, but this happened in fraction of second. And he just rose before anybody came to know. He rose his club and banged on the head of Rukmi. And Rukmi died on the spot. He was not in the condition to go to hospital and getting treatment done. He died on the spot. His head broke as if Indra will strike the mountain peak with thunderbolt and the mountain peak will crack and the lava will flow down. Like that, his head cracked and he was a bloody mess there. And then Balramji, with the speed of the wind, started running behind Kalinga and Kashi kings because they were also scared. Suddenly, Balram took up this form of Raudra, became very angry, and they got so scared and they started running away. But Balramji very soon caught them. And what he did, I like it very much from my childhood, this story, that he broke their teeth. He smashed his club on their mouth and broke all the teeth and put them in their throat. And they ran away. And then all the other kings who were joining in the laughter and ridiculing, Balramji ran behind them, caught each one of them and broke their each limb and pulverized them. And all of them, some of them were carrying their broken limbs and running away. And he smashed them like anything. And all the assembly got over. And then it is like Prabhupada explains that, whenever Kshatriyas get married, there has to be some bloodshed. Like when Rukmini has to be married, there has to be bloodshed. There had to be killing of any, princess and insulting of Rukmi. And in the granddaughters and grandsons' marriage also, there was bloodshed. The grandfather-in-law died and everything. Krishna was very silent, very strategically. Why? Because he loved Rukmini and he loved Balramji also. If he would express his sorrow over killing of Rukmi, Balramji would get angry. And if he would show happiness over killing of Rukmi, Rukmini will get angry. So he just maintained status quo. He was neither happy nor unhappy. He just kept quiet strategically. And then finally, they all gathered, what is his name? Aniruddha and Rochana, and they went back to Dwarka. So this is how Balramji killed Rukmi. Now, one thing I cannot not tell you before I close, because there are so many stories, but one story I must tell you, that the Balramji's prowess is so strong. He's known as Baladeva. So what happened was, again, the Yadus and the Kurus, somehow they keep on coming close to each other through relationships, through family, through bondage. And then what happened was, Lakshmana, the beautiful and good qualities she had, the daughter Lakshmana, daughter of Duryodhan, her Swayambara was there. Swayambara is an ancient tradition of, putting up your daughter, the kingly princess, in front of many princes who come from far distances. And there's some competition and then they have to fight in that. So Lakshmana was there, standing with garland, and many princes were there. They're about to win the whatever challenges they had put. But Samba, the daughter of Jambuvati, the wife of Krishna had many wives. One of them was Jambuvati, the daughter of Jambuvan. And she had a son called Samba, who was very dear to her, but very chivalrous Kshatriya he was. So he went in the assembly hall and without doing any challenge, nothing, he just picked her up against her will and took her away, simply. That's called as Rakshasi Vivaha. One of the way of weddings are Rakshasi. That means you kidnap the woman anyways and you take her away. So he did that. It's also bona fide. So when he ran away with Lakshmana, although she did not like him so much as a husband, but now he has touched her, he has captivated her, and he took her on the chariot very chivalrously. 6 of the Maharathis of Kuru, they decided, how dare Yaduvamshis, we have given them the royal insignia. How dare they do this? So Bhishmadev, Duryodhana, Arjun, and Kritavarma and Dronacharya, they all 6 Maharathis they left. We will show him a lesson. So they went and they attacked. Now Samba was so chivalrous, he defeated singularly everybody. And they came to know that 1-to-1 we cannot defeat him. So all 6 of them attacked together, Maharathis, against the rule of code of conduct of war. And naturally, one of them broke his string of the bow, and one of them, broke his armor. One of them captured from behind. One of them killed the horses. So he just couldn't manage that, and he was arrested. And they separated Lakshmana from him. They arrested Samba and put him in a prison. The news reached Mathura, news reached Dwarka, and that time Ugrasen was the king. I think Mathura or Dwarka, I'm not very sure. But Ugrasen was involved. So Ugrasen said, we must equip ourselves and attack Hastinapur. What do they think of themselves? They capture our young boy, and that too they capture with illegal, illegitimate means. This is not fair. This is not the rules of the law of the war. We will go and destroy the Kurus once and for all. And they were like all angry, and they just got up together. They put their arms, and all the Sena, all the army was collected, and they were about to leave. Balramji said, wait a second. Let me go and give a try once. Instead of bloodshed among the close-knit families, we are relatives, closely connected with family bondages. Let me give a try. I will go with army, with brahmanas, with cows and everything, as much as readiness for wedding. But also army I will take, and I will see what I can do. Let me see whether we can solve this issue peacefully. So Balramji, with all the army, all the brahmanas chanting mantras, all the cows, everything, he just camped just at the outskirts of Hastinapur. And he sent Uddhav, please go as a messenger and give message. So Uddhavji went and met the assembly of Kurus, where Bhishmadev, Dronacharya, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, everybody was there. Even Pandavas were there. So he said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Balrama, has come at the outskirts of Hastinapur, and he offers obeisance to all the elders and shows love to all of you. And there's a strong message he has given. Please return Samba and Lakshmana and get them married. It is good. If you do this, it will be nice. It will pacify all the Yadus. So that time, everybody came running to visit Balramji. Duryodhan came, Bhishmadev came, they fell at the feet of Balramji, they gave gifts to him, they worshipped him, they praised him. And then Balram said in a thunderous voice, please marry Lakshmana with Samba and end this matter. This is my suggestion. This is a peaceful solution. Do not fight in the war. At that time, all the Kurus, they became very angry. And they said two statements, which is very painful. They said, if the footwear wants to sit on the head instead of wearing in the foot, that is what you all are doing. You are like footwear in front of Kurus. And now, because of our royal insignia that we have given you, you have assumed power, and you think you mere coward boys, coward men, mere coward men. You want to become equal with us? You want to become our samdis? So, very insulting words. And they immediately went off from there. So Balramji stood up. His eyes were red like coal. He picked up his plow, and it was like looking like he will destroy the whole creation within fraction of seconds. And in front of eyes of everybody, he just smashed the plow on the ground with the sharpened end, and he plucked the whole city of Hastinapur from earth. Generally, we play those map game in childhood. Now we have got a world, and we have got maps of India, and we have got maps of America and China and Pakistan and Burma and all these things, and the children are supposed to place them in right place and make the map of the world complete. So how the child picks up, the India, it's like a toy. The whole India is picking up in hand, and sometimes the whole state of Maharashtra in hand, and then pick up China in hand and Russia in hand. It looks so funny, The child is lifting the whole Russia in hand. Like that, Balramji uprooted the whole Hastinapur from the face of the earth. And he started dragging the whole city of Hastinapur at the pinpoint of his plow to drown the whole city into the river Ganga. He said the Kurus need to be taught a good lesson. I came with peaceful thought. I came to create peace, but they are so arrogant. They need to be punished wholesale. And what was the condition? Suppose there is a boat in the storm in the ocean. What will happen to the boat? The boat will shake like anything. Nobody can be steadily standing on the boat. Like that in Hastinapur, the whole city, the buildings were moving, the men and women, old women coming out of the building, they were throwing out of the building, and the whole stability had gone. There's no gravity, there's no stability, and everybody was fearful. They understood that. Balramji has lifted our Hastinapur from the face of the earth. Now we are in the sky like airplane, and we are going swiftly to drown ourselves as a whole city. Everybody, men, women, old age and children, everybody will drown in Ganga. So what they did, in that situation of uncertainty and instability, like a storm, they brought Lakshmana and Samba together. They put Lakshmana in front, Samba behind her, and they all lined up behind them, all the big Kurus. And they came and fell, like, he is holding them at the pinpoint of the plow, and they are in the sky. And from there they're shouting, Balramji, please forgive us, please forgive us. You can imagine the sight. He's standing, he has a plow in the hand. At the point of the plow, Hastinapur is hanging, and at the edge of the Hastinapur, everybody is shouting, please save us, save us, save us. So with looking at their mood of surrender, Balramji put back the whole Hastinapur in its own place, like the child puts China in the world map, like he put everything back. And they came on the ground level. Hastinapur was released from the sharpened point of the plow. The plow was kept aside. Balramji was standing there. They came out of Hastinapur. They put in front of Lakshmana, then Samba, and they fell at the feet of Balramji. And they said, we are very sorry. Please forgive us. We did not know your prowess. Please forgive us. We are intruders. We are aparadhis. Please forgive our offenses. But then Shukadeva Goswami explains that they understood that Samba had touched her and kidnapped her. So now they knew that nobody else can marry Samba anyways. Lakshmana anyways. We have to marry her to Samba only. Then why they attacked? Because they wanted to test his prowess, how strong Kshatriya he was. And when they saw him fighting chivalrously, they were very happy. They said he's a right husband for Lakshmana. And that's why they decided to attack him and arrest him. And they wanted to also test the prowess of Balaramji. They knew the power of Balaramji, a supreme personality of Godhead, but they wanted to see the exhibition of the power, the unexpected, unimaginable, achintya power of Balaramji. So Balaramji, when they didn't imagine that he will do that, but they were so surprised to see that he picked up the whole Hastinapur at the pinpoint of this plow. And they were very happy. And then they surrendered. And then Duryodhan, brought thousands of chariots and hundreds of elephants and thousands of horses and so many soldiers and so many ornaments, so many clothes. Everybody was gifted. And the Brahmanas there itself, who were ready there, they were also brought with the purpose. So the Brahmanas got them married there only. This happened in Hastinapur. And after that, Duryodhana, with great pomp and great love, made his daughter Lakshmana go to Dwarka with Samba as her husband. So this is Balaramji's prowess. We can understand. So to just mention, if not describe, Balaramji also killed Dvivida, that personality who rebelled against Lakshman and became a demoniac personality, attacked Balaram in Vrindavan, in the Revataka mountain, and there he was killed by Balaram. Then Balaram also decided not to go to take any sides in the Mahabharat war. So he went on pilgrimage. So his pilgrimage also is described very beautifully, where all he went, all over India. 18 days he was on pilgrimage. 18th day he came back, he came to know that Bhima and Duryodhana were fighting, and both were dear to him. So he ran to Kurukshetra. He tried to stop the war. But he again understood that his desire of stopping the war and saving both of them was not acceptable to Krishna. So he pleaded there, put his proposal to stop the fight between Duryodhana and Bhim. But when he saw Krishna's desire was different, he immediately went back to Dwarka. He said, let it happen, whatever Krishna wants, let it happen. So Krishna wanted Duryodhana to get killed. And then one interesting thing I'll tell you, just mention to you, some other time we'll describe in detail. On the birthday of Balaram, 2 pastimes happened in Vrindavan. The Kaliya Daman Leela happened on the day of Balaram's birthday, because that day Balaram was held back by Rohini for birthday celebrations and giving donations to Brahmanas. So Balaramji did not go that day. But when Krishna jumped in the water and all the coward boys were worried, then Balaramji, Rohini, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda all came. And it was only Balaramji was smiling and everybody was crying, looking at Krishna in the water with Kaliya. And second pastime, it took place on birthday. At different time, different year, was killing of Aghasura and the Brahma Sammohan Leela. That is why Balaramji did not know that all the coward boys are Krishna himself and all the calves is Krishna himself. He didn't know. He was puzzled to see the unusual behavior of all the calves and all the coward boys. And he asked Krishna. So Krishna said, all of them are me. How it happened? Then Krishna briefly explained to him. So in these two occasions was Balaramji's birthday. So I feel so excited when I describe the story of Balaramji plucking Hastinapur from the face of the earth, And this is not only first time. Today, just now before this lecture, I read one more story in Garga Samhita that one more time when Yadus were doing Digvijay, Balaramji went to assist Pradyumna, who was the Senapati, was the commander-in-chief, and his brother Gada was fighting with another Gandharva Patanga, and Patanga smashed Gada by his club and almost unconscious, and Balaramji came for his rescue, and then he was attacked by Balaramji and he ran away to his Vasanta Malika city and again gathered army. So that time Balaramji again plucked Vasanta Malika city, the Gandharva city, from the face of the Loka and wanted to drag it and drown it in Ganga. Again, then that King Patanga, Gandharva king, surrendered to Balaramji and glorified and accepted their reign in the Digvijay process. So it is not only once he did this, he did it 3 times. So anyways, one time he dragged Yamuna and broke her into pieces, smashed her pride by his plow. Then second time he did it with Hastinapur, and third time he did with Vasanta Malika city to subdue the Gandharva king called Patanga. So this is Balaramji. He was known for his strength, and Gargamuni had predicted that he would be a very strong person. That's why he kept his name as Baladev, and also he's going to please everybody. That's why he kept his name as Rama, combined together, Balarama. So all glories to Balaramji Maharaj ki Jai Ho. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Very grateful to you for allowing me to narrate Balaramji's pastime. Any question is there? Anybody has?
Prabhu, just one question from my side. Where is this Vasanta Malika city?
That is in Gandharva Loka.
Gandharva Loka.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is there in Garga Samhita, in detail, the story.
Prabhuji, where is Gandharva Loka?
Gandharva Loka is the heavenly planets. All the upper planetary systems are basically Bhuvar, Swar, Swargaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Maharloka, and each one of them has got divisions where Amravati is there, Vayu Loka is there, and Chandra Loka is there. All these lokas are all Swargalokas.
Prabhuji, if I may ask a question, when can we read a bit more about the pastime of Lord Balaram when he lifted the Hastinapur?
Yeah.
What can we read more about it?
It's there in the Bhagavatam, 10th canto.
Oh, in 10th canto.
Oh, yeah. The full description is there. Also in Garga Samhita, Danavir Maharaj has given commentary on that. That also you can read. But in Bhagavatam, you can read in details about that. That's given in Bhagavatam only.
You covered so much pastime in just in 1 hour.
I wish I could have spoken 1 more hour. I got so many pastimes here. But anyways.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you so much, Prabhu. It was super excellent. Just to mention that my little daughter, she was doing something and she stopped doing that and she started hearing it. So
once more.
Thank you so much. I will be very happy to meet you again and narrate some more pastimes. My pleasure and honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji is super busy. I think that's why he has to rush.
I've got my counseling meeting 6 to 9 p.m. now. 3 more hours I have to go.
Okay. So thank you very much, Prabhu.
Excuse me. Thank you. Kamlesh, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Ho. Jai Ho.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, I think Prabhuji has left. So just a quick announcement for Manchester congregation. As you all know that tomorrow is auspicious day of Balaram Jayanti. There will be a special lecture starting at 7 p.m. with the same Zoom link. Please tune in for tomorrow's lecture. And see, Janmashtami is on the 12th, and Prabhupada appearance day is on the 13th of August. So as you all probably aware that we are doing it virtually on Zoom. It will be the same Zoom ID. So there will be a morning program and a full evening program. Full details will be out in the next couple of days. So there will be Abhishek, there will be, Kirtan, there will be Maharati, everything that we normally do in normally. So only thing is this time you have to just sit in your own home and watch on Zoom. So please watch that space. The details will be out in the next couple of days. Okay, so thank you very much and hoping to see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.